Okay, I think we are ready to go here for the Montana Volleyball Press Conference Week 3. We're joined today by head coach Allison Lawrence and senior Olivia LaBeau. Olivia hit 537 this weekend with 31 kills to just 2 errors. Pretty spectacular weekend from her. So we're going to start there. Olivia, welcome to Missoula, first season for the Grizzlies. What was it like playing in front of the home crowd?
It was great. Just Missoula has such a big community pull, and everyone is so welcoming and so friendly and so supportive. So it was really fun to play on our own home court, and my family was there, our fans were there, and it was just super contagious energy. The team really gelled, and it was really fun to get some of those wins and just play together.
And Coach, we'll go to you. A 3-0 weekend where really kind of everything, I feel like we've talked, the offense stood out, but then you have the Defensive Player of the Week in the Big Sky Conference and Alexis Batesel as well. So just a great weekend overall. Your thoughts?
Yeah, shout out to Lexi. She was Player of the Week. It was awesome. So proud of her and excited for her. But yeah, it's hard to – I feel like we had so many outstanding individual performances. Olivia LaBeau was, her stat line is insane. I don't know if I've ever seen one quite like that over the course of a weekend, but we had individual performances that led to such a complete weekend by our team, and then so many individual moments that I think just added to little wins in sets that allowed us to feel that complete. So I feel like I can think of moments for each player, whether that's freshman or a senior, that I think helped with that consistency and kind of won us matches right in that moment. So couldn't be more proud, and I get a little I don't even know what place to talk about because there were so many good layers and good things happening. So really big team effort. And like Liv said, so great to be at home, just a great energy. And with all the other sports that were home, it was fun to share all the victories with everyone because that was really a great weekend for the Griz.
To follow up on that with you, Olivia, just obviously, like she mentioned, 5-0 weekend for the Griz athletic department. To be part of this community, as you were mentioning it, what was it like to experience that football opener? And then obviously soccer got it done yesterday too. What was it like just kind of seeing the whole athletic department do that here?
It was so fun. I think it's a really cool and unique opportunity when we all get together and we get to celebrate each other in that. And we all have such a friendly dynamic that we get to share that as athletes and just as a part of people of Missoula. So it's really fun.
Kind of picking up back off Jackson's question, just for you, these first couple months with the Griz and then obviously kind of finally playing games, what's that transition been like from Tech to here and, you kind of getting your feet under you with new teammates and everything like that? Like what's that experience been like for you?
Yeah, I think it's a really cool and unique experience coming in as a grad student. Obviously, you don't know what to expect at first, but everyone has been so welcoming from the team to the coaches and just so supportive in that aspect. Going from NAIA to the D1 has been so fun, and it's just been a different level of competitiveness, but just a little bit faster pace. But I think it's fun to see what I've been able to do and be able to go into like a next gear. So that has been really fun to see what I can do, and also as a team. So super fun.
Definitely. Allison, we talked about this on the football field afterwards, but obviously that Saturday slate where it's the 9 a.m. game against a good North Dakota State team, and then you see Oakland for the second time where adjustments are made. They might know tendencies a little bit more. Just to see the girls walk away with a 3-0 weekend and then kind of battle some of those challenges too. Can you just speak to that, especially so early in the season? I feel like that's pretty unheard of.
Yeah. That tournament schedule was not ideal for us to come away with 3 wins for sure. And that kind of back-to-back match where luckily we were able to beat NDSU in 3, or else that rest time in between matches would have been more like 10 minutes instead of the 35 that we ended up getting. And so I think our team managing that piece shows a lot of their maturity, a lot of their hunger to be great and to fight through adversity, because that's a really hard thing to do. And we have a lot of depth and use a lot of our roster in matches, and that's just still hard for an entire team to navigate that with fatigue. So Oakland was able to reset. They had played 2 matches the day prior, so we're dealing with their own fatigue, I'm sure, and are on the road and had a long travel day with the airport being closed and kind of some things for them that weren't ideal either. But I thought made great adjustments, did some things against us that exposed, parts of our game that we didn't have to show in the first match, and we had to have answers for those, and I think we did. And and their number 12, I think, got hot, and it was a battle when she got going, and it was really close down the stretch. So we relied on our challenge review system to to finish it out in the end. But yeah, it was a great, exciting match.
Olivia, last week, Coach talked about kind of highlighting the good things that you guys did, but obviously didn't get the results, and kind of trying to build off of that to get the results and have a good weekend. Like, just what does that do for you guys as a team?
Yeah, I think the first weekend was very telling, and we did get exposed in some ways. But we got to regroup, we got to see where we're at and where we wanted to be, and then we were able to take those focuses into practice and prepare super well mentally and physically in both ways, and scouting and preparing in ways that we used our strengths to also expose them, and just prepared really well as a team. So I think that was a really cool opportunity for us, and hopefully we can do it again this week.
Allison, for you, like, what does, having a weekend like that, like, what can it do, especially for, a younger squad?
I think it builds belief, it builds identity. I think whenever you start out a season coming up short in a tournament and not getting any reward, you're kind of stuck in that loop of like, okay, I thought our strengths were this, and then those strengths didn't allow us wins in these ways. And so we go back to the drawing board and we add stuff to our game. And then it's the belief it's the belief that we can prepare, as Liv said, that we can go back into practice, train something, and it can show up. And I think that kind of muscle memory and that trust that we can get better and that we can identify what we need and then add it, I think just allows us to know we can navigate any part of our season and come back from any kind of disappointment or build momentum and grow out of any kind of success. So it's a big time momentum and belief builder.
For both of you guys, I think you guys won some home games late last year, and then obviously you start this weekend off, with the good weekend here at home again.
Yeah.
So for both, Coach, we'll start with you, but for both of you guys, just, you hear about home field advantage, home court advantage, just for volleyball, what does that mean?
I think it's real, it's real and not real at the same time, but I think it is. And I think for us, we have one of the top attendance records in the conference. I think we have fans that show up year after year, match after match. And so I think there is a level of comfort in our own gym, and there's a level of consistency just in what our atmosphere feels like. And then I think every gym is different. And so, Utah Valley and our gym are very big. You have a lot of different things going on visually when you're trying to pass. And some gyms are very small, or there's different colors on the walls, and there's lots of different things that go into kind of how you track the ball and how you execute and some of the ball handling things. So I think just when you're comfortable in your own gym, you tend to pass and serve really well because you've passed and served in that gym so consistently. So I think that does add to it. And I think our wins last year late in the season, we've always done this at the end of seasons. And I think that was a product of that pattern. And what that team was struggling with and going through and breaking through at the end. But I think this team is so hungry to kind of show who we are as early as possible, and I think they're doing that. So, yeah.
Anything to add from the players' perspective?
I think home court advantage is a real thing, like you said, but you can't overemphasize its importance, because when you do travel, you're still going to have to perform. You're still going to have to do the right things and focus on the right things. So you can't let that get in the way too much, but you do have to build on the energy when you're here. So it is nice.
Allison, you mentioned identity early on. What do you think is sort of your, at least initial inclinations of the identity of your volleyball team?
Yeah, it's fun to see that emerge. I love that question. I think one piece of our identity that's taking the forefront is toughness. And I know that word in sports is like, no coach is like, our team doesn't want to be tough. That's a common thing. But I think what makes toughness relevant is if you know how you would define it for your own group. And so I think inside our group and behind closed doors, we know exactly what toughness means for us. We've defined it thoroughly, and then we've tasked our team individually with owning whatever toughness means for them. So our group is really tough. So I think that part has been a work in progress since the off season, carried into now. But I think ultimately what that's going to mean is we're going to be able to be resilient in ways, whether that's 2 matches in one day or tough opponents or a tough Big Sky schedule, whatever it is, like bouncing back, responding. I think all those things are a part of our identity that'll help carry us through. Yeah, I think there's lots of other things emerging, but that's kind of the main one.
Was there anything else that emerged, though? Any other things that you learned about your team this weekend?
One thing I think I've known, but it's just so fun to see it on display, and a deliberate thing we recruited to, I think, and especially in this sophomore class, and then you see that again in our freshman class, is just a real joy to compete. And I think everyone on our team loves to play, and I don't want to put them into groups of who shows that more or less, but I think that's something we've been emphasizing in our program and emphasizing in our recruiting, is joy to compete. And I think I hear a lot of feedback from fans and from people that get to interact with our team that they feel that as well, and that is contagious for them. And they want to be a part of what we're doing, and they want to follow along. And so I think that piece is very real, and it's something that's very much driven by them and their personalities and their drive to be excellent. And so I'm really proud of that, and yet I don't think I had much to do with that. I think it's who they are. But I think it's really rare and impressive, so I love that about this team.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for letting me jump.